And no, I'm not talking about Justin Trudeau's choice of Halloween costume. I love Fender amps, especially the ones from the late 50s. The tweed amps are just magnifique. They're great. But those 65 Deluxe, the black panel, all right. Let's look at the positives first. I got 3 positives to look at when looking at the 65 Deluxe black panel amp. Number 1, the reverb and tremolo. It's iconic. It's great. You don't get much better reverb and tremolo built into an amp than what you get in the 65 Deluxe. That's number 1. Number 2 is how it takes pedals, especially mid-focused overdrive pedals. Your tube screamers of the world. I know, rare type of pedal, but they do take that kind of mid-focused overdrive really well. It makes up for the deficiencies in the amp, and you can get a good sound that way. Number 3 is when you take that 65 Deluxe and you put a Celestion Creamback in it and plug in a Les Paul. You can get some really creamy tones that way, and probably the best way to make a black panel 65 Deluxe sound great. Celestion speaker, Les Paul. Strat can also sound pretty good through that as well. Okay, before we get into the 3 things that are wrong with the 65 Deluxe black panel reverb, would you do me a favor and tap the like button? And if you're into music creation, maybe consider a subscribe. But anyway, into the negatives. All right, so the first one is too much bass. There's too much bass in this amp. A guitar amp does not have to have so much bass. It just doesn't. In a mix, it just gets cut out anyway. It's a waste. Number 2, scooped mids. Scooped mids. Now, you can monkey around with it and get it set up so it's relatively flat, but generally its character has a little less mid-range. The guitar is a mid-ranged instrument, right? You want the mid-range, and it just isn't there on that amp. So that's the second negative. And the third one is an overrated clean tone. Oh, here it comes. Overrated. It's overrated as a clean tone. I would argue that for less money, you can get a Marshall DSL, put a Creamback in it, and then get a Strymon Flint, and get just as good, if not a better. Matter of fact, I think you'd get a better clean tone that way. Let alone when you get up into Friedman's, or even comparing it to Vox at a lot less of a price. You put an Alanico Gold in a Vox. I mean, you're still less money, and you get a better clean tone. Now, that clean tone is bailed out by, like I said before, the reverb and the tremolo. It is very, very good. The question in the title of the video is, does it stink? Is it just terrible? Is it just terrible? I don't know that I would go that far. I think it's kind of like close to the line of like, oh, this is really bad. Like, this is a stinky amp. But I don't think it crosses it. If you like 65 Deluxes, why don't you leave a comment and tell me what you like about them. Tell me what appeals to you. So thanks for watching. Since we talked about Fender, somewhere around here on the cards will be my buyer's guide for Telecasters. So if you'd like, kind of check that out if you like Tellies. Down below, there are links to my music as well as my website, and there may be affiliate links, maybe right now, but in the future. And always remember, it's all about the song. Deuces.